Roberto A. Almodovar. Exactly 1,548 words. P.O. Box 1661. First North American Serial Rights, Klamath Falls, Oregon, 97601. Copyright 2012-2022 by Roberto A. Almodovar, ralmodovar@gmail.com. Shift change. The prison colony slowly orbited the seventh ice moon of the Dovartin system, shrouded in billions of stars. Its outer hexagonal sections formed a sphere consisting mostly of independent cell blocks which encased an inner core of security, administrative, recreational, and housing units for staff. In its history there had only been one failed uprising, as any block or section within a cell block could easily be ejected into space and immediately surrounded with sentries. The rioters within would be forced to stand down or suffer certain death by starvation, dehydration, and in the end suffocation. The isolation of sentry prison duty made it one of the most challenging jobs in the Ranger Service, and only the top 1% of commissioned pilots could qualify. Arajitkai gripped the control stick of his sentry, pulling back, stopping just short of the service platform. Across from him another sentry arrived for the same chance at the notorious and infamous Gate 12, north entrance. Above the platform was one of many automatic guard towers. Michael sat comfortably behind the quad barrels of a pulse cannon as the two sentries slowly approached. Major Barnes here, reporting in from Gate 20, ready. Major Arajitkai here, reporting in from Gate 6, ready. Arajitkai smiled. He never met Barnes, but beat him once before. Now the bastard was back to try again. Welcome to the moat, said Michaels. You've both been out there before. Those little shit sentries you're riding in can't hurt the moat, but watch the platforms, those are expensive. Central Control has a go to power down your weapons, auto navigation, and engine speed control systems. This is manual control and visual heads up only. Your comm links to each other have been disabled, but Central can hear you both. Good luck to you. Try not to kill each other. I got a wife to get home to. Talk to us, Mikey. Where is the warden? Said Arajitkai, positioning his sentry next to Barnes, sizing it up. Barnes was flying the same standard-issue patrol sentry. The sentry was a high-powered, heavily armored military space vehicle complete with jump drive technology, and one occupant life capsule surrounded by two forward and two rear-facing mini-cannons. What about medtechs? Added Arajitkai. Wardens in deep core level, said Michaels. In meetings for the next hour. The moat is clear. Watch the sun rises there low. We have medtechs ready east side, west side, and one to follow. At the mark, you are okay to go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Both sentries came to life, bright engines blazing full power in quiet silence for a race around the prison perimeter. The first one home after 2 laps wins. Duty on Gate 12 North, Women's Detention Block, 7 days. Rangers with a desire, enough cash, and the right connections found paradise. Barnes flew low this time with heavily armored jumpsuit, and sun-shielded helmet seamlessly married to the inside of the sentry's capsule. Flying low ensured a smaller circumference and shorter distance, but avoiding service bulkheads and platforms affected time and speed. Safe standard distance was 200 meters. But the Gate 12 competition ran below 10, and if necessary actual contact with the deck. The only sounds piercing helmets was their own heavy breathing, adrenaline rushing through arteries, and the muffled vibrations of the jump drive engines accelerating to a pre-programmed max 1000 km an hour. Nothing could survive racing the moat at higher speeds due to the curvature of its structure and obstructions along the way. In the end it was bravado and strategy that would win the day. Barnes felt a sudden impact as Arajitkai shoved his sentry underneath, forcing Barnes to fly higher. Arajitkai, you bastard, screamed Barnes, trying to retain control without losing speed. The two sentries were equally matched in power, but whoever rode lower, closest to the deck in the straightest possible line at full speed, had the best chance to win. Arajitkai's heart pounded. He was only kilometers off the deck with Barnes riding on his back now. The fucker was pretty good, but making the same Mistake, he had no balls. Arajitkai could see and feel his own sentry inching ahead. If Arajitkai gets under you, force the fucker down, Barnes remembering being told, it won't kill him, it will slow him down and give a medtech something to do. Before them both approached the moat, a narrow service section between prison blocks spanning almost 10 meters wide, and 5 below the bulkhead. Just wide enough for 2 sentries to fit side by side on a perfectly smooth, mostly unobstructed path for 25 kilometers before approaching the first of 4 major walls. One could fly high above the moat to avoid its hazards or fly right down its throat full speed, only rising to clear each wall at the last possible moment, timing mattering more than speed. Flying above it didn't work out so well for Barnes last time. Just before reaching the moat, Barnes suddenly rolled inverted, clipping Arajitkai's sentry, forcing it into the bulkhead below. Arajitkai managed to avoid the move as Barnes' sentry made slight contact with the deck but rolled over and back in low enough to prevent Arajitkai from slipping under again. Nice fucking moves, Major Barnes, Arajitkai blurted to himself, you do have some balls. That makes us even, said Barnes grinning, ladies of Gate 12, here I come tonight. Both sentries plunged into the moat full speed side by side now, each having less than a meter to the nearest wall. Near the end of the second lap, they managed to demolish a light-duty unmanned service platform and never looked back while clearing the last wall. Barnes and Arajitkai were side by side in a dead heat with the last 25 kilometers and seconds to go before reaching the finish line. Arajitkai tried everything to rattle the fucker. He wanted the guard duty badly, but Barnes somehow managed to hang on his every move and apparently wanted the guard duty more. Suddenly a garbage portal opened along the moat wall ahead on Arajitkai's side. From it emerged a biomass. Barnes had the better view, quickly rolled away from the portal and out of the moat while keeping a straight course down its center. Arajitkai never saw it, plunged right in. Suddenly his entire canopy, heads-up cameras and field of view were covered in viscous liquid shit and the world went dark. No time for the auto-clean to kick in. No choice but to quickly punch out of the moat and wait for Central to restore his navigation. The stars were all gone, he was flying completely blind. Fuck, screamed Arajitkai in frustration, powering down to a stop and releasing the stick. I heard that, said Michaels laughing. Sorry Major Arajitkai, looks like you're heading back to Central with me. Arajitkai had mixed emotions about losing the race. The shit dump was a good one. It had ejected from the women's block with perfect timing, a first for any race, obviously prearranged. He had to laugh as the medtech unit caught up with him and started performing emergency debris removal. He wouldn't be visiting the ladies of Gate 12 anytime soon. 7 days of paradise lost at the cost of Barnes. He had to admit the bastard was good, with a few tricks up his own sleeve. Arajitkai finally arrived at Gate 12 in a clean sentry as Michaels emerged in his own to join him for the ride back to Central. Where the hell is that son of a bitch Barnes from? Complained Arajitkai. I heard that, Major Arajitkai, said Barnes as the comm links had been restored. Congratulations, replied Arajitkai, nice moves, pretty clever shit near the end there, I'll remember that one. I had nothing to do with that, snickered Barnes. Well, enjoy your first time in paradise fucker, you earned it. I'm sure Mikey here warned you about C Block, all the bitches in there are killers, last season they cut off all a ranger's balls in his sleep. So be careful. Arajitkai, interrupted Michaels, you do know that Barnes is a girl, right? Silence. Arajitkai's eyes widened in disbelief, his attempt at scaring the motherfucker gone, and as his sentry approached the dock he saw Barnes for the first time on the opposite side of the bulkhead. Her leathery elongated skull emerging from its helmet and the definite form of female tentacles peeling out of a jumpsuit. She stared back at him behind the quad cannon, smiling with all 4 of her pink piercing eyes, each on its own long stalk. Not only was Barnes a girl, she was fucking awesome and beautiful. What's your call sign? He desperately asked. Mine is Teague, she answered. What's yours? Fuck me, blurted Arajitkei in astonishment. My call sign is Babo, he added, staring back at her with all four of his own short-stalked male eyes. Well, Major Babo, that's never going to happen, said Teague laughing, winking two of her eyes. I'll see you two boys in 7 days.